If you're into Final Fantasy VI like medieval concept with lots of political schemes, different factions in all-out war for resources and conquest, and also a band of mercenaries fighting against all of these, then you're at the right place. Hello everyone, I'm Arcadenaut here, and today I'll be talking about the DioField Chronicle, Square Enix's recent title with real-time strategy gameplay mechanics. You might not find any videos about these titles on my channel yet. However, since my childhood, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre. I love their medieval fantasy concept, their memorable, morally great characters, class system with deep customization choices, and their turn-based strategy gameplay. I just like this medieval fantasy with Square Enix's approach, I might say, and for this reason, the DioField Chronicle also piqued my interest when it was first teased. At first, the DioField Chronicle's in-game visuals might look a bit off and even ugly, but it has memorable characters, a realm in all-out war for magical resource called Jade, lots of political corruption, church influence, struggles for the throne, and much more. I completed the DioField Chronicle in 20 hours, did all of the side quests, and only an achievement of making a character 50 level remains. So even with gameplay time, it's quite solid, I might say. However, to be frank, the first 5 chapters of DioField Chronicle was quite interesting and memorable, but some plot holes and writing problems by the characters begin to appear during the last chapters. If you are ready, then let's get started. The DioField Chronicle takes place in an island known as DioField, surrounded by Rovatil Alliance to the south and Trovel Shovian Empire to the east. It might sound similar to the situation of Final Fantasy XII. This time, Kingdom of Elethane is trying to uphold its borders against these two massive factions and inner conflicts within DioField. Our story starts with Andreas and Fredred, two childhood mercenary friends trying to realize their own ideals after their childhood friend Levi, heir to the throne, died after an attack. As Andreas and Fredred fights against bandits, rebels, and even against Alliance and Empire armies, they also want to create a kingdom that Levi also would achieve if he was alive. This is the sole idea that drives them further. As Andreas and Fredred works under Duke Henge, one of the members of royal government, they recruit a magician called Valtaquin and an archer called Iskarion to their ranks, and 4 of them form a professional mercenary band called Blue Fox. From the first chapter to the last 7th chapter, there will be lots of events happening, from political turmoils to the invasions, bandits trying to rebel, people of DioField trying to abolish the monarchy to uphold democracy, and so much more. So even by the first chapter, you will feel that story progress is really quick. Mostly each chapter has a topic that it focuses on, and with each mission from either Duke Henge or someone else with sweet money, Blue Foxes will march to fight on, recruiting more people to their cause, starting as a band of sellswords to organize mercenaries to even Kingdom of Elethane's recognized special forces. Story of Blue Foxes also kinda reminded me the band of White Hawk from Berserk, so that medieval setting, Andreas and Fredred also trying to achieve their own dream, is a bit similar to the Golden Age arc of Berserk, I would say, but more focused on political events and fight for the throne. Around chapter 5 there are some plot twists that kinda feels forced to make things even more complex or maybe interesting. If you ever question why those events happen, just take a quick look by the story and character logs and you'll be fine. Ulterior motives or behind events are mostly explained there, so you won't be confused if you check these logs, I believe. Besides that, charming and unique character designs are made by Taiki, who also worked on Fate Grand Order and Digimon World Next Order. Although in-game visuals kinda lack the charm and unique feeling in general, Taiki's character depictions are just flawless in my opinion. It has this medieval aura around that gives more depth to the characters. I just love it. I also wish DioField Chronicle having a unique graphic or visuals within the game, though I feel that might be an issue with the game's budget overall. I know DioField Chronicle looks like a mobile game by some occasions, and even though it has a price tag of 60 bucks. However, its strong points are its characters, gameplay and the world setting and story, I would say, not its visuals at all. Although DioField Chronicle resembles Final Fantasy Tactics, Tactics Ogre and Fire Emblem series by its aspects, gameplay is real-time strategy this time that depends only on hero units, so no custom recruitable characters nor any class changes throughout the story. When you start a battle, you will see a timer by the top right of the screen, and that will affect your accomplishment for objectives of that quest, and I really advise you to try and do each and every objectives of each quest, whether they are main or side quests. DioField Chronicle is not hard, on the contrary, it is way easier than than all of the games that I just mentioned. You don't need to grind levels for each character, and your main team should be fine if you also do side quests along the way. These objectives are mostly complete the mission without any of your units dying or under specific time limit sort of stuff, so no big deals to do. When you complete these side objectives, you earn materials to develop your own legendary weapons within Blue Fox's base and some upgrade items for your summons. If you want to stop the game and plan your next move, you just need to select the character to give any orders. These orders can be given to each character separately or just an order for all. Your aim should be aggro the damage from sharpshooters and magicians, keep the Andreas behind the enemy line, and everything should be just fine. I never felt the combat boring or repetitive in a bad way, to be completely honest with you guys. It might just be me and my unending love for the Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre here. I love the characters, love the world of DioField, so the gameplay didn't quite bug me that much. DioField Chronicle does not offer a gameplay depth as much as these three titles that I mentioned before, and there is also no permadeath within the game, so that might also be a downer for lots of you, I think. Each and every character belongs to a specific class, from melee, cavalry, sharpshooters and magicians, so to say. They have their specific weapon tree that cannot be changed. Rather than customizing your each and every unit quite detailedly, you can customize their gears, which weapon they can use, and your unit that dispatches to a battle. And as a side note, by each battle, players can dispatch 4 different hero units as main and 4 units as a sub-unit that are bound to each main unit. As Andreas is the only assassin hero in the DioField Chronicle, he is a must. He's quick, agile and deadly, can one-shot nearly every enemy with his assassinate skill when hit from the back, and this skill's cooldown resets if assassinate skill delivers the final blow. As a supportive unit, I choose easily tank hero for Andreas, and I use her shield bash ability for quick stuns when Andreas is surrounded. I also always use Fredred, who is a cavalry unit, and mostly use another healer magician called Shivat as supportive unit until the late game for damage over time and some separate but quick heals. And again, to be honest, I mostly use 4 leaders of Blue Fox for each main and side quest, and I thought I was really strong until I tinkered a bit and changed my roster and added some Wyvern riders to my roster. So just like by Final Fantasy IX, characters obtain new skills and moves by specific items that they can equip, and if that weapon is changed, that skill might also be unavailable for use later on. Around chapter 45, due to upgrades to your Blue Fox base or throughout your weapon development branch, you can access the legendary weapons for each class, and these also unlock specific class move that also has like its own cutscenes when performed. These Wyvern Rider dudes, on the other hand, are also 2 people throughout the story, and one is called Zorak, an old veteran mercenary that kinda gives me the vibes of Thunder God Stolfus from Final Fantasy Tactics. This dude rides an Azure Wyvern, and his special move, Cyclone, literally summons a hurricane within the battlefield, attacking everyone along the way with damage over time, while this Cyclone moves slowly upwards, and even with this move, no one can stand in your way. On the other hand, Volta Queen is also an awesome character when you need healing or nuking from afar, but I can't say the same for Iska, to be honest. I mostly used him for stuns and some backup DPS, and I would advise you to replace him with Umarida when she joins. She uses like a sniper crossbow that can deal insane amount of damage to both single target and groups of enemies, and felt more powerful than Iska himself.
帝国軍の残存兵の件はどうなっている？
単なる残存兵ではないかもしれません。
何か情報を掴んだのか？
Just like by Fire Emblem series, and especially by Fire Emblem 3 Hopes that is released recently, there is also a base development that provides you weapon development, unlocking new skill upgrades, customizing your summons and shop inventory list, and more. Either by doing main or side quests, Blue Fox's reputation is increased, and by each level another upgrade for base facility gets also unlocked, and either by doing side quests or doing investments, these facilities can be upgraded. Since I completed all of these base upgrades, main and side quests in 20 hours, I wouldn't call these aspects boring or a chore. If a weapon is unlocked through these weapon developments, you can just go and purchase that weapon from the vendor, or upgrade your lovely Bahamut summon to deal heavy damage for multiple targets. If not, then you might have some troubles during late game chapters, I presume, or at least by completing objectives of that mission. There is nothing to do much in the base, nor any character relationship that can be seen by latest Fire Emblem titles, and I really wanted to see such approach by DioField also. We are just stuck with Andreas and his cold, focused personality throughout the game, and see the events from his perspective.
何？
The DioField Chronicle offers 20 hours solid gameplay with all main and side quests completed, all base facilities are upgraded fully, and all objectives of each quest also done with a medieval fantasy world full of political drama, war, and struggle for ideologies and peace. I would recommend it to anyone who loves Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre, and maybe Fire Emblem, but since it lacks the visuals, or let's say the in-game visual art design, even though it's a $60 title, it might also be clever to wait for a sale. Although the character design, the illustrations are really unique and charming, it is kinda heartbreaking to see DioField Chronicle has a soulless in-game design actually. I will still prefer like an Octopath Traveler like in-game visuals, or just Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre like sprites to be frank, or something more unique, more Square Enix like in terms of graphics. Sometimes DioField Chronicle really feels like an indie Kickstarter project when I look at the face of the characters and ask myself how much budget DioField Chronicle had by the development. Maybe Square Enix should just stop releasing hundreds of games in 1 year and start releasing less games with more charming visuals, memorable music, and characters and atmosphere, just like how they used to.
これがワイバーンの乗り心地か。悪くない。
よし。